Aristoteles, Hippocrates, Archimedes, and Euclid. Okay. Now, we'll start the interview with a few questions, and the first two apply to all of you. So first, what kind of scientist are you?
I'm a mathematician scientist studying geometry as my specialty.
I'm an astronomer.
I study medicine.
I am an inventor, I am a mathematician, and I also created my own principle, which I have based many of my inventions off of.
I study geometry and I try Pythagoras.
Next question, where are you all from?
I was moving around in many areas of Greece during my time right now, but mainly I'm at my headquarters, which is like our cult area.
I'm from MrWScienceYMS, and I've mostly studied Alexandria and Egypt.
I was born and raised in Colossus, Greek.
I'm from and was born in Syracuse, Greece.
I do not know where I am from. It's just a mystery and no one's figured that.
Okay, we're going to do one-on-one talk. And we'll start with Pythagoras. Okay. Have you always wanted to be a mathematician?
Yes, from a very young age, from about the age of 17, I got very interested in mathematics and geometry, because if you wanted to figure out what shape this was, it's a rectangle. It's easy. I also like right triangles and everything, which I base many of my theories on.
Great. Okay, let's just get to know you. Do you love anything or hate anything?
I love mathematics and geometry. I love my cult. I miss my life with, and I hate beans.
Why do you hate beans so much?
Beans, I just don't like them theoretically. I don't like a bunch of fluctuating mathematicians in my cult. I mean, there's just many reasons why I don't like beans.
Okay. What is your cult all about?
Our cult's all about mathematics and figuring out math. This is a calculator, for example. And many things we do are about math, geometry, figuring out the hypotenuse of the right triangle, things like that.
Okay. Do you and your cult practice mathematics almost every day?
Pretty much, yes. It's most of our life. I know my life kind of sucks, but well, it's one of our main things that we do. It's mainly like the point of what we do. So, yeah, pretty much yes.
Okay. Do you have any disbeliefs?
Well, I don't believe in a couple of things. Beans, one. Two, I don't like at all these new concepts that come up with decimals like 2.5, for example. 2.5 is a number, okay? 2.5, it's 3 to 7. And then 6 to 14, and it can go on and on. But there's no number called 3.5, which is ridiculous.
Okay. Now, I have this one question that is very, not really disturbing, but I'm questioning. Why did you murder a member of the cult?
Well, that's kind of complicated, and the river, or lake, I think I threw him in. Yeah, I threw him in a lake. So, I threw him in a lake and drowned him because of one thing. You know how I told you earlier about how I don't believe in 3.5 or decimals that we're coming up with? It's going to be like, he said that one of the basic right triangles, a leg of one and another leg of one. 1 squared plus 1 squared should equal 2 squared, right? This is my theory. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, it doesn't. Just one little odd out square. And he kept on saying, well, the hypotenuse can't be this. And I'm like, okay, it can't be that. But he's like, but this and this and that. And he's like, if it doesn't exist, then it can't be a triangle. And I'm like, and then he tried it, then he spilled the beans, I hate beans, and to everybody. And so I had to kill him.
Alright, okay. That will conclude our interview with Pythagoras, and we will move on to Aristoteles. Now, Aristoteles, why is the universe as keep so important to you?
Well, I just want people like us just know the truth about where we live, and I think it would be interesting to learn more about it.
Okay. If you had to pick to be an astronomer or a mathematician, which would you pick?
I would really like to be an astronomer, but like every astronomer, they need to know being a mathematician. They need to be one to be an astronomer. But mostly, if I wasn't an astronomer, I wouldn't be what I was today. I'm thinking that no one would know about astronomy.
What is your theory?
My theory is that the sun is in the middle of the solar system, and the Earth spins around the whole sun in a year time period. And the Earth spins around its axis while it is spinning around the sun.
Okay. Do you think your theory is correct?
Well, I would, but I was mostly based on observations, and I didn't have the right tools. So I would say a little bit of both. And like I said, I just need better equipment for this.
Okay. Last question. What is your favorite part of the solar system?
I really like the sun because, well, for first, like today, it lights up the world, and without it, we couldn't really see, and we couldn't live without it. So I think it's a really important part of this solar system.
Okay. Thank you. That concludes our interview with Aristarchus. Next is Hippocrates. Now, Hippocrates, are you a wealthy doctor?
Yes, I'm very wealthy.
Okay. Have you always wanted to study medicine?
I've wanted to study medicine since I was a very young boy.
And who is your dad?
My father was Heracles.
Okay.
He studied physics.
Alright. That concludes us with you. Next is Archimedes. Have you always wanted to study math and physics?
Yes, I've always wanted to study math and physics ever since I was just a young boy. The reason that I was interested in this subject was that my father was a mathematician.
Very interesting. What is your math principle, as you said at the beginning of the interview?
My math principle is that the buoyancy force is equal to the amount of water that is being displaced.
All right. What are you famous for?
I am famous for my principle, my skills as a mathematician, and also my principle, which I based many of my inventions off of, as I have said earlier, and one of those inventions is the Archimedes screw.
What is the Archimedes screw?
It is a tool that can be used to lift water from one level to a higher level so that people could, just get rid of the water and do whatever they want to that area without having the water in the way.
Okay. What is the Archimedes screw used for?
Mainly it's used for mining, so that miners can lift the water out of the area and then start mining there without the water being in their way.
Okay. Those are all my questions for you. Thank you. Last is Euclid. So Euclid, what type of books do you study?
I study geometry books and a whole bunch of I wrote the book about the elements, and so it's just based on a whole bunch of geometry, and so it's just a whole bunch of geometry stuff.
Have you always wanted to be a geometry mathematician?
Well, ever since I was about 21, I think, I always wanted to be one because I like complicated things, and it just kind of helped everybody in the like figure out things about the world.
Okay. Is there a shorter road through geometry than the elements?
There is a less complicated road through geometry than the elements, but it's harder to understand, and you can get through. If you do understand it, then you can go through it faster. It's a I forget what it's called. But it's faster. You can go through the elements faster.
Okay. What are the elements in the book about?
The elements, it's basically just about geometry and what it's like.
Okay. Those are all my questions, so thank you for joining us, gentlemen. And that concludes our interview. Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.
Adios,
I
amigo.
love you.